This is the HPC 1200 code machine. It's one of the best code cutting machines around, and it is a standard in the industry. There are other manufacturers today that make comparable machines. The machine simplifies the code cutting process by using a reference card and 2 dials to get the right cut in the right space. Simply insert the code card for the lock you are using and set the space needle to the number 1 mark on the card. Then turn the depth crank until the depth needle reaches the appropriate depth number. The machine will come with a standard package, but additional specialty code cards, cutters, and adapters are available. Now, if you buy an HPC 1200 code machine, you're going to get a big binder with the cards that you'll need to cut a great many different keys with. And you can see that there's quite a few. So the key that we're going to cut today is a quickset key, and so we need to pull the card for the quickset locks. And that's card number 31. Now, some of the information that you can see on here, it shows the depth and spacing. It says the cutter wheel CW14MC, so you want to always make sure you have the right cutter on your machine. We know we read the key bow to tip, key blank numbers that work with this card, the depth space dated numbers 46, has a max of 4, progression steps are 1. And then there's a note here. It says if you're using with original pins, widen as shown on the card, but it says if using the CW14C cutter, or use CW1014 cutter on the center marks. So it depends if you're using CW1014 or CW-14MC. So, again, there'll be notes like you have to pay attention to. The card number, you can see, is C31. It says quickset large pin standard. Here's your depths, and we'll see that. We'll bring our depth needle up for the different depths. If we have a 3 depth, we would bring up to the 3. If we have a 4 depth, you come to the 4, and so on. Then for the spacing wheel, we'll bring the needle up to the correct space to make our cut. And you can see there's a little note, what they were just saying with the other note, for the CW14MC and the original pins, widen the cut a little bit. So that's kind of the basic information that you're going to see on most all of the cards. Here's your depth increments, your space increments. The way it works is there's one knob that you turn for depth adjustment and one turn for space adjustment. You have a card, the card I just went over with you, we put in this slot right here. We have to be careful as we put it in. There's 2 needles in here. We don't want to catch those needles with the card and bend the needles, so be cautious of that. But otherwise, you just take the card, slide the card in, and then you simply put the key in the vise and you turn the knobs to cut the correct space and correct depth. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we want to make sure we have the correct cutting wheel. There's a number of cutting wheels that come with the machine. Some come standard, some are extra. So when you buy one of these machines, you want to check, if you do buy one. Now there's other brands, other manufacturers of code cutting equipment. And no matter which one you buy, you want to find out which cutters and accessories come with the machine to cut which keys. But again, these are extra wheels here for different types of keys. The cutting wheel is here. There is a deburring brush back here to the back. There is a lever here that you can see. I can move up and down. We move this up to put the key in. If we have a shoulder stop key, we use this to line the key up in the vise, and then we have to put that back down out of the way. The machine won't start until you put this lever and this guide back down. There's a switch there that it bumps up against that switch and closes the switch so the machine will operate. That's to make sure that you don't leave that up and accidentally run that into the cutting wheel. Okay, so here's the cutter wheel. Here's the nut that holds the cutter wheel. The machine will come with the tools to take the cutter wheel off. This is a reverse thread, so instead of turning it counterclockwise to loosen it, we would turn it clockwise to loosen it. And there's no need to put this on too tight. If you put this on very tight, it can be difficult to get that back off. But let's check and make sure we have the right cutting wheel on the machine. We're supposed to use 14 MC. You can see right here, this is the CW14 MC cutting wheel. Now you want to make sure you put it on right. There's no writing on the back of the wheel. You want to make sure you can see the writing. There's also an arrow that shows the direction that it's going to turn. Remember, you're going to turn the nut counterclockwise to tighten it, since it's reverse thread. And then just snug that a little bit. Not too much. Okay, so we have the correct card, we got the correct cutting wheel. Okay, we have two keys to cut. For duplex 1, we're going to cut 45322, and for duplex 2, we're going to cut 23344. Now again, this we're going to use, it's a KW1 key, quick set key, and so we're going to turn this crank here on this side, which is for our spaces. Move this over so we can get the key put in the vise. Bring this lever up because it's a shoulder stop key. Now on the card, it does show us on the card which jaw to use. We use jaw A, and jaw A is already on here, so we're ready to go with that. So again, bring our lever up. Catch the shoulder, tighten the vise up. Put the lever back down. Okay, so I'm going to be operating the machine with these two levers. We're going to go ahead and move the key over to where it's on space 1. I'm using, this is the space wheel here to turn that. And I'll show you the face of the card in just a second so you can see what the needles are doing. But for this is what I'm going to be doing as far as moving the knobs. Once I've got it to space 1, then our first cut for duplex 1 is a 4. The cuts were 4, 5, 3, 2, 2. So I'm going to bring the camera up so you can watch the needles move on the card. But I'll be turning these two knobs to cut the key. Okay, we're all set. We're going to cut the first key to 4, 5, 3, 2, 2. Go up to the 4, and we turn the space handle back and forth a little bit. We back off the depth adjustment, and we move to the number 2. Number 2 is a 5 cut, so we bring it up to the 5. We widen that cut a little bit. Back off on the space, or on the depth adjustment. Move the space number 3. This is going to be a 3. Then I go to number 4. Number 4 is a 2. We move to the number 5 cut, and that's a 2. And that's it. That's cut. So we have I can go ahead and brush it. That's our key right there. You can see it's nicely cut with a 45322. Now we'll do the next one is 23344 for duplicate. So we'll go back to space number 1. Okay, so 23344. Three. Number 3 is a 3. Number 4 is a 4. And number 5 is a 4. I'll go ahead and brush that key up. Two, 3, 3, 4, 4. Please take just a moment to like the video and also subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.